Hello again. I'm back at it. I'm gonna work on the bird today. Got a bit of a headache, so I'm not sure how much I'm gonna get done, if anything. My goal is, let me turn this music down a little bit. My goal is to get this bird done and then get started on some colors. I have to leave my sketch layer up when I start coloring because I need to see where the pattern should go. But after that, it'll be bye-bye sketch layer, so no more of this messy. There's a little charm to sketches, I think. But it'll be bye-bye to the sketch layer and you'll see some proper colors. I do have to get her eyes done, but that will wait till we got the bird. And no fan today, so hopefully I'm coming in nice and clear, though I'm still a little quiet. Oops. Wasn't sure what to blabber about today. Cheek. Wasn't sure what to blabber about today, but it's a little tough because I'm used to working in. I'm gonna use a darker color. That should help. Wasn't sure what I was going to talk about today because I've kind of gone over everything that has to do with the character. That I can disclose anyway. But in the campaign, like pretty much everybody else, I can't really comment on because I don't really know that much about them. And like, I can surmise a little bit, but you know, I'll probably be wrong. Because they know their character better than I do. So I didn't want to like talk about the other PCs, you know, without them. Though I do like them a lot. Like, I really hope we don't lose anybody. Like, even though I did mention, like, nobody has, like, a solid backstory like me. I'm not saying they don't have backstories, it's that they don't have, like, as much as I do. They have, guidelines, and, like, there's still some things that they're figuring out, some of them, with their characters. But I have like a document. And actually the Warlock now has a document too, because they did his player had like a lot of stuff they discussed with the DM before our last session, and I'm really excited because I want to learn about my character's friends. Because, I mean, let's be real, I kind of like them more than I like Vex at times. Like, if you sat me down and said, who's your... if this party, if I wasn't a member of it, like, Vex is still there, she's not my character, though. You sat me down and you're like, hey, who's your favorite character in this party you've been watching? I mean, I can't say it wouldn't be a Vex, but I can't say it would be her either. I just don't know. Though she is, like I said, she is kind of catered to my tastes, so she might have been. And I do like her very much. How does one draw birds? I ask, and then my party, who's seen me draw like so many birds, is gonna be like, you don't know? Listen, guys, I don't like, contrary to what you might think, I don't like birds as much as the amount of birds I've drawn would imply. Like, those birds were incidental. Ugh, my sinuses are killing me today. I hope it's just allergies and that I didn't catch my manager's cold. She was sick all day yesterday, and I was like, well, hope maybe I wear a mask to work still. Literally nobody else does, but I do. But I'm not saying, that's not like me saying, oh, I'm better than everyone else. No, I'm just saying that's how it be. But yeah, I hope I didn't get it, bring it home. That would suck. At least it's not the big C, you know? Because I had that, and now I can't eat peanut butter anymore, and I'm distraught. Parosmia sucks. Don't get it. That's all I have to say about that. Well, now I can't see. Why did I make the farther foot first? Like, why did I do that to myself? Why do I like to make my life harder? Okay. Wow, what am I doing? Yeah, that looks terrible. That looks terrible. It's a good thing these feet are going to be blacked out, so I'm not really going to have to see it. I mean, I'm not keeping them like that. I'm not that lazy, but oh, I cannot touch that tab. Oh no. Whew, that was close. This tab here, for some reason I decided I was going to pull up something, one of my spoilery WIPs, and didn't close it before I started recording, and I just realized that now, and now I'm trapped. I could stop the recording, but then I'd have to start all over because I don't have any video editing software to stitch two disparate clips together. I don't even know what I'm doing with this foot. Don't care. We're just gonna, there we go. And then, there we go. And then, make this work somehow. Like, something you will learn about me is that I get tired real easy. So I'll just like give up and be like, you know what? Well enough is good. I'm so close to that right now. Maybe it looks okay from far away. Oh, it doesn't. I hate this foot. I'm just gonna have to ignore the sketch because it's just messing me up too much. So I'm gonna have to wing it. Ha ha ha, bird pun. I think that works. I think that works. It's too big. Yes, that works. I think we did it. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. Work harder, not smarter. Okay. Why didn't I bring the tissue box over here? It's way over there now. I have to get up and go get it. I haven't been talking anything about Vex or anything. I don't know what I've been talking about. I think I was just talking about my manager and being sick. Oh, when my head is stuffy, my brain just disappears. Okay. Nope. You gotta get the swoopy right. Yes. But no. It's funny, drawing for an audience, even a mostly imaginary one, like nobody's watching me right now. This isn't streamed or anything. But knowing that someone could watch it, because I'm recording this, is messing me up a little bit, honestly. Just a tad. There we go. Oh, so yesterday, admittedly, I don't know too much about actual setting and campaign and D&D stuff. Like, that was not my... I didn't grow up on that, unfortunately. My nerdy thing was more superheroes, because that was the one thing my dad was into that my mom couldn't really get onto him too much for. This isn't going to become the Rain dumps her childhood trauma on unsuspecting audience. I won't go too deep into deep depth with this, but yeah, no, we just weren't really allowed to explore high fantasy magic type stuff when I was growing up because we were, you know, my mom grew up real hardcore, old school evangelical, and that just wasn't allowed. Like, they weren't allowed to watch the Smurfs growing up. That's how bad it was. And you're like, the Smurfs is the most inoffensive thing. And that was like, it's like Smurf means blue demon in German or whatever they said it was. And it's like, no, it doesn't mean anything. It's just French or Belgian or whatever it was. Or is. But, so she grew up with that. And while she did, she did get away from it a little bit, there was still a lot of. I honestly think she was just, she just didn't like people to enjoy things. You know how some people just don't, they're not, they can't let people enjoy things, you know? They, for whatever reason, I'm not gonna, like, psychoanalyze her here. That's not my job. And I'm I'm sure she's maybe better about it these days now that they're separated and everything, but just when you're with someone you don't like as a person, you seeing them happy about things can wear on you if you're a certain kind of person. And my mom, at least when I was growing up, was very much that kind of person. So, yeah. But I still very fondly recall watching things like Lord of the Rings growing up, which we were allowed to watch because Tolkien was a Christian, so she couldn't say too much about that. I'm completely off track though. I realized I was talking about the news I heard, and then suddenly I was off on a tangent about myself and my childhood and how sad it was. This is what it's like talking to me. I find the rabbit trails and I follow them because I am a dog in a human body. Anyhow, the news I heard is that they're releasing Dragonlance. A Dragonlance campaign, maybe? Or maybe it's just like I didn't see the news exactly. I just heard people talking about it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm vaguely familiar with Dragonlance. But they're releasing some Dragonlance material for 5th edition. Exciting. I don't know much about it. Obviously, with most stuff taking place in Faerun, I'm much more familiar with Faerun, even though our campaign is not set in Faerun. It's a Greyhawk campaign, I think. Well, it has to be Greyhawk because it takes place in Giraf. And Keelland is right there. Actually, I looked it up. I was looking for a map of the place. Like, not for spoilers or anything. I don't even think this campaign is like an official module. And if it is, don't tell me. But apparently the country's called Jeff. like Jeff. Like, obviously it's like a, oh gosh, it's so large. if you can read that, is it's Jeff. It's Jeff. I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about coming from a place called Jeff. And obviously, the DM has been calling it Giraffe or Giraffe. I can't remember what pronunciation we've been using because we haven't said the name that often. But she's been using like what the actual people who live there call it, which makes more sense to me. Why must you torment me, lines? Why won't you just be so nice and swoopy? I don't want to follow the sketch because the sketch lies to me sometimes. Okay, I think that's good. She said and she lied. It wasn't good enough. Okay. Now it's good enough. It's going to have to be because I'm not doing this again. I'm so done. I'm done. Anyway, Dragonlance. There are books. There are books. That's what I know about Dragonlance. And I think there was a video game. Maybe. Oopsie. You know what? I have to stop treating these like... I have to stop treating these like raster lines because they just don't work the same way. This one is just an absolute mess. It's just a mess. I don't know why. I think it's just because I started off, but I wanted to work on this really badly. And I promised it to nobody that I would record it, and so I did. And now I am trapped in a hell of my own making. I need to look at it without the sketch. It's fine. It's fine. These lines are going to be a lot lighter when I'm done. This is just to help me see over the sketch. And this was probably going to be transparenty, but not the lines. I've got plans. I got plans. It's going to be a spectral, illusory magpie. It's like the spirit of the old withy or something. Let me actually check this. It's gonna take forever to load. I'm not gonna be able to see. Oh, there it is. I told you that Vex gets her singing from me. That down, and now I'm going to work on the tail. Tail of a tail. This is the tail. The sad, sad tail of a tail of a bird that wasn't a real bird. I think that's good. You know, I thought of stuff that I was going to talk about. Dragonlance was one of them. I don't know why I even brought it up. I was just like, I need stuff to talk about. Dragonlance. I know nothing about it. Let's talk about it. since I kind of ran out of stuff to talk about as far as Lizard goes. I mean, there's more to say, but it's like kind of difficile. Oop. Maybe I should use those curve tools again. I don't remember what I was gonna do or talk about. What the? I hear my dog barking, and I don't know if you guys can either. But she sure is getting a lot out of her TV, which is the window downstairs. We call it her TV because she just sits there in the window and barks at squirrels and birds and anything that dares to come in. You know the dog. She cried for me to let her into the room in, like, the last video, I think it was. You know, I'm probably just gonna not talk much at all. Because I'm just feeling so weird. And it's hard to think when your brain is sinus mush. Well, at least these are kind of easy to manipulate. Because they are curved and there's not a billion points on there. If I don't misclick. Oops, there we go. Okay. Oh gosh, no. So I don't know why, but it is very easy for me to think of weird things for Vex. Like, I was just this afternoon thinking, I was folding my laundry and I was like, who would Vex be if this was like a high school campaign? Like, would she be like a nerd, a jock, whatever? And almost immediately I was like, Vex is a theater kid, but she's not just any theater kid. She's that theater kid that always had like the snacks that you weren't allowed to bring on the campus, like the energy drinks and stuff. And she was the one who was selling them out of her backpack. I came up with that like almost immediately. I thought it was funny because it's like so fitting. Like, oh yeah, of course, she's making bank off of kids that have their first job and some pocket money for snacks who've got the munchies in the middle of the day. I think that is okay. Ah, oh, nasty. What is that? Kill it so I don't have to look at it anymore. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Up here. That is too fat. Too fat. Okay. Yep, we're just gonna go with that. Yeah, that looks fine. That looks fine. Board. Board. And now that we can see board, we can put eyeballs in Vex's head. Pupils, I mean. She has eyeballs. They've just been creepy, blank orbs. Incidentally, yes, she can lick her eyeball. And she will, as soon as I find opportunity to do so. I can maybe talk about the spells I'm giving her. I didn't mention it, but I did mention she got her subclass, but I didn't mention what that subclass was. Clearly, if she's got magic, she's a rogue. We are dealing with an arcane trickster. So she knows. Oh no. I have this problem. I don't know if it's with my tablet or my computer, but the line weights will turn off, and for some reason they'll loop in on themselves like this. I think it's the tablet or the driver or something. I just can't be bothered to fix it. I'm probably going to have to get a new one, but it fixes itself after I test the pen pressure settings. I'll be upgrading someday, eventually, but I don't know. I want enough money to be able to replace my computer if I have to before then. And I'll have to install this program and all my brushes all over again. Not looking forward to that. I keep zooming in. No zooming in. You gotta see the sight lines. Sightline is important. I don't know what I was talking about before. It is so hard to give her an expression that looks both calm and not like bored. Like every expression I tried with these slitted pupils has looked bored or kind of vacant. I think that's good. it is a bit of a challenge getting the mood right on with these eyes sometimes. There's a big challenge with them because her pupils are slitted, so that's a bit of a challenge. And then her eyes just being so huge, goofy looking, cartoony gecko eyeballs. That's also a challenge. So it's hard to make her not look like a little cross-eyed goofball whenever you're trying to have a little bit of a serious moment. Because yes, while I did very much make her to be a comedic character. That's not all there is to her. If you know me, you know that I am backloading somewhere some sort of angst. Like I had, I hadn't even alluded to it yet. I don't think. I just was like, here's my character. She's a little stinker, and I was, I was just talking about. Oh, didn't have her backstory settled in yet, and I was like, oh, maybe I should give this stupid lizard a sad backstory. And one of the people was like, really? No. Can't imagine you giving a cute little character of yours a sad backstory because they were already well familiar with. This is my first D&D character, but I have like original characters, and they have met them, so they know I'm a bit of a sadness fiend. In fact, oh my gosh, what did she call me? A sadness elemental. Sadness elemental. Okay, let's see if that works. I think that works. The lines here are a little bit weird. I'll fix them. Or maybe it's just me. Sometimes I have to leave well enough alone. Okay. Okay, so we have, I think we have everything. Oh, right, we need our sketch lines because we need these tree rings, we need her pattern, and we need the bird's pattern. But I'll probably work on Vex first. Maybe the bird, because the bird's not going to be. Excuse me. The bird's going to be pretty small, pretty easy to do with 2 colors, 3 at most, and they're all going to be a monochrome. But we'll start with Vex, I think. Oh dear, how am I going to do this? Okay, so yes, I have the colors from this reference to work with, but this reference isn't like super detailed, so I need to pull out another reference, and I need to hope that I have one I can show. I think Vex Past 2 is okay. Oh, yes, it is. But it doesn't have the color I need. Okay. I can't mention this one. This is her meeting her boy Diven. That's the baby. And there are sparklies and stuff because that's Vexovision. Although I had a version where I turned those effects off. No, left the lines. I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's her eye highlights are on the same layer. Anyhow. There it is. There it is. That really takes the life away from her eyes, goodness. I think it's cute this way. As you can see, my beautiful CSP tree brush line trees back here As you can see, I put a lot of effort into my backgrounds, and that's why I love drawing trees so much. Oh wait, oh no, if I do that, I'm gonna end up on this one. Oh, cancel. Haha. Ah, I am not gonna be able to close anything. Uh-oh. You didn't see anything. Nothing at all. I think this one has the colors I need. Yes, it does. Okay. I just sat there for like a good 3 seconds. Gave you guys plenty of time. I'm gonna have to download a program, aren't I? Or maybe I'll leave it. Little Easter egg. Because I'm exhausted today. Where's the shadows? Here they are. Okay, good. It would be nice if I layered and if I named any of the layers. There we go. I put pink in her ears. It's more of a mammal thing. It just makes her look like a cow. I don't care. I think it's cute. So, why did I choose that color when I need this one? Why do I even have a reference? I'm slow today. What am I doing? Just going for it. So I need raster layers. There we go. Oh, the reason why I do everything on a gray background is, you might have heard of this, but gray, instead of staring at white for hours on end when you're going to be working on a project like this, it reduces eye strain, and I find it helps quite a lot to not draw on gray. However, it does become a bit of an issue when you're at the coloring stage. So I will probably be flicking this on and off. And no matter how thorough I try to be, I always miss some little spot. So I have to turn these backgrounds on, this gray background on and off every now and again. Like, okay, I've done a good job now. I've done a good job today. I don't appear to be missing any spots, but it's really easy because, like I said, I have to draw the pattern over the sketch, because I draw the sketch on the pattern onto the sketch, so I know what it needs to be. But it makes it real easy to miss the details, and I just completely messed that up. Anyway, I don't color on vector layers. I don't really think you... If it's a thing people do, I don't know about it. I've only just started using them, though, because they get me those nice, crisp, clean lines I like so much. Make my brain happy. Yeah, I think it's okay. What I really need to do is turn off this. Aha, see? See what I'm talking about? She does kind of look like a cow or a goat with these big old ears. Why do I put ears on my kobolds? I like them. I like them. I actually drew, it's funny, before I designed Vex, way back, I have another D&D OC, who's a kobold, who's Freddy, that's this baby here, but I drew a picture of her with her mommy, and you can actually see I've kind of taken a lot of cues from Snaggle, who's her mommy here. You can see the tooth and the ears. I loved these ears so much, and I just had to use them. Though Vex and Freddy have Fretty, they have a very different style to them. Like, Vex is all gecko-y, and Freddy is much more draconic. My doggie is crying again. I'm gonna have to let her in. Someone might let her in before I can have a chance to. So you can see she has a spot here. She actually has a, pattern map. See, it's very basic. It's just to show me where her patterns go under her clothes. So you can see she has this belly all the way down, goes under the tail a little bit, and then on her back she's got a little spotty action going. And it's not so good for the face, but it wasn't meant for the face anyway. The face thing is perfectly well captured here. I've never drawn her pattern this way. Like, her eyes are too close together in every other drawing I have ever done of her. But anyhow, fingies. This is one of the more time-consuming things. One of the more time-consuming aspects of the process. Just this particular, putting this particular color down, because there's a bit to it. Because you've got to put the little fingerless glove markings on that harken back to Apostle. And then, you probably noticed on her reference, it fades here. And that means I have to, like, select this arm and then spray right here. That will come very shortly, but I think all these are gonna be okay though. And down to the feet. I just realized you couldn't see that, because you can't see whenever I was freaking out, because I was like, oh no, you're gonna see the icons, but you can't see the icons when you open the windows. I'm sleepy, I'm tired. I was freaking out for no reason. It's fine. And I have to review this whole thing anyway. I'm so goofy whenever I get even just a little bit sinusy. I've been like freaking out. I'm like, am I gonna have to re-record this whole thing? I don't want to do that. Am I gonna have to download a video editor and snip clips out? I don't know how to do that. I'm too tired to learn today. But no, I'm just being silly. Okay. But it would be really over if I accidentally clicked that. Oh boy. Maybe I should like pause this and then like resume having closed that. But you know, we like to live dangerously here and it never bites us. It always bites us. It's fine. Living on the edge is my middle name. My first name is I don't like living on the edge. I share some D&D stories with my friends who don't know the people in the group at all, really. They're just a friend group I have, and I don't have many people to talk about with it IRL, so I just talk about with them. I don't give any names, like, don't say anything that I think the group wouldn't like me telling to absolute strangers. But they have gotten quite fond of Vex's exploits. And one time I was talking to one of my friends, not about D&D, just about life and stuff. And I had recently posted the picture I showed last time of Vex witnessing the illusion of her boy being murdered, like her literal worst nightmare. And she was like, you know, I don't appreciate the little situations that you put your character into. And I was like, I didn't put my character into that situation. The DM did. This is something that actually happened to her. So if you've got any complaints, you're going to have to take it up with the DM that you don't know. I don't like racing the outsides because it's hard. Sometimes it's easier to just block it off with the selection tool, but somebody didn't feel like doing that today. Need to talk to that lazy person. What's she doing with her life? Working at a paint store? I work at a paint store, by the way. I work at the Sherwin-Williams. Oopsie. See, that's what I don't like racing for. What? What's happening there? I think it's just this. Okay, well, I didn't have to do that, but now I have to do all this again. So that's fun. Rain, why don't you just select out everything outside of the line work and get rid of it? Well, because if I did that, I would be what we call intelligent. And I don't know if you've met me or not, but my brain likes to take frequent and see, it's happening again. It likes to take breaks, and it doesn't tell me about it first. It just goes on break and then comes back later with Starbucks, and it's like, hey, what'd I miss? And it's like, we're in combat now, and it's like, oh, neat. Did I miss anything good? Like, yes. Oh, the times my brain has gone on vacation. Haha. Also, I noticed a habit of mine in the videos as I was looking them over again. How instead of doing Control Z, you know, I was going up here and hitting undo manually, and it kind of got on my own nerves. Oh, come on, stop doing that. There we go. See, it's my, what you call it? My tablet. It doesn't like to listen to me. Anyhow, I don't know. It was getting on my nerves. I was like just watching my mouse drift up there, drift it back down, drift up there, drift back down, and I'm just like, I would be. I don't know why. If it was somebody else, I don't know if it'd get on my nerves, but because it's me, I was just so annoyed. I was like, shut up and stop doing that. Use the keyboard shortcuts, because clearly you know how to use Control Z. I mean Control V, the copy paste command, because you're doing it all the time. But like, Control Z is right there. It's like not that far away. However, it's just simply eluded me. Okay, now I'm gonna check. I think we're good. It won't really become apparent until I put down her base colors. But I think we're good. I chose this nice. I chose blues when I was making her because I don't know. She just seemed like she'd be good in blue. I just wanted to play a blue. See, just wanted to play a blue character. I often wonder, like, if she dies, what am I gonna play as? And I certainly have had some ideas, like, oh, I want to play an Owlin someday, or I want to play a Furbolg. Tiefling sounds like a lot of fun. I think. Let me scooch that out one more time. There we go. I feel better about that. Okay. Yes. But yeah, I think if old Vex conks out, takes the big nap, I think I'm more likely to pick up a tiefling right now. I don't know, I'm just really feeling tiefling. Though I may feel a call of the garbage animal again, and just right, the ears. I was like, where else does this color go? The ears. I need the darker background. Lighter colors are much easier to color on the darker background, so I'll be flipping this on and off and on and off and on and off. Efficiency, what's that? I only know doing things the hard way because it makes my brain go not fart, but like that was supposed to be like a brr sound, but I couldn't get my tongue to roll any R's, which was a real problem for me when I was taking Spanish. I have what's it called? It's the thing where you can't control your motor skills as well. Like, it impairs your motor skills a bit. Like, it takes a little longer to pick up. Like, for me, it was, I took a while to pick up whistling, tying my shoes, that sort of thing. But yeah, it makes it hard for me to do physical things, like physical skills. It's not dyscalculia, that's the problem with math, which I might have too. I don't know. I don't like math, though. Who does? Freaks, that's who. I bet Gaunt likes math. He seems like the type of guy who would love the quadratic formula. Just sit down at his evil desk eating evil pastry. Like, yes. I don't even remember the quadratic formula. I was going to quote it and I was like, I don't remember what that is. It's like there's like a b, there's like an a plus b squared something. I don't remember. Am I gonna have to Google this for a stupid joke that wasn't even funny? Yes, I am. Let me finish this big part of the horn first. Also, my music stopped. I'm gonna have to find some more royalty-free music. It's gotta be royalty-free, or else YouTube will be like, what are you doing? Has it really been an hour? Doesn't feel like an hour. Here's something. I have no idea if it's gonna be any good. Sounds nice. Okay. Let's see. Quadratic. The quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all of this over 2a. How did I survive math? How did I survive school? How did I survive living? It's funny how whenever you hit a certain age, the adults in your life tell you all the times that they've almost killed you. At least that's how it was for me. I hit 18 and suddenly grandma was like, do you know that your parents nearly got you killed several times? And I'm like, by all means, tell me. Yeah, it's not like stuff like they were being, well, okay, in one case, I don't know what they were thinking. They were thinking, we don't need a firstborn, is what they were thinking. But it's usually like an accident. It's like, oh, you were sitting on your dad's lap, 3 months old. He was eating a hamburger, and you were hungry, and you just leaned forward and took a big old bite. That's a story. That's an actual story that my family tells often. Every time we have a baby, we're like, you remember when Ruth was little? She just devoured a piece of cheeseburger and would not open her mouth to let anybody take it from her. And I actually started like growling. I started growling because I didn't want them to take my hamburger away. It wasn't even a good hamburger, it was just a McDonald's hamburger, but it was manna from heaven to me. All I got was stupid baby food. I should really label my layers, but I don't. I don't unless I'm working on like something I'm going to be like recoloring over and over. Like I do custom items on Tattered World. I make a few custom items. Like I can show a few. Let's open up the pictures. Colors. I lost most of my stuff. I lost most of my folder last, I'm gonna say beginning of this year, but I did get, I made a new one and I've started back up. I shouldn't zoom in too close on this. I made these birds. These birds are what I made. Also, with this particular avatar, I recolored these eyes here, and I'm gonna have to redo those all over again. But the birds, I made the birds completely from scratch, and oh god, I just realized how terrible the wings are on this magpie. Ah! Okay. It's fine. I can go back and add some more lines. Also, if you hear me make the most horrifying sound you've ever heard, I'm sorry. I make noises. It's what I do. I'm neurodivergent and I'm not gonna apologize. I'm neurodivergent. The lizard is neurodivergent. Like, I see, like, little autistic tells in Vex sometimes, and I'm like, I'm sorry, Vex, you got that from me, but you know what? It's fine. It's okay when I do it. You know the thing where it's like using machine characters to explore autism is okay when autistic people do it. Yeah, I feel that way about Vex being a little creature that doesn't really fit in, and her being played by me, an autistic person. I'm not ashamed of it. It's not really. It's just part of me. I've learned to accept it. It wasn't always something I could accept so easily. Especially since I didn't know what was wrong with me for, well, quote unquote wrong, for many years. I didn't know because, oops, nobody told me. Which seems weird. I know, and is weird. But some people, they just don't know what. Growing up in the 90s, we really didn't have a lot of, at least not in our area, or they weren't really available to me. We didn't really have a lot of the support that we do these days. It was seen by a lot of people as something we needed to fix, you know? And like when you're huge air quotes, high functioning, they really didn't bother. Like, oh, you just need to be normal. Basically, just be normal in public. Masking is what we call it. And let me tell you, it's exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. Oh, I am wiped out all day after I've been masking all day. It doesn't have to be for very long either. Like, I could be gonna live dangerously and put these on the same layer. I could have only been out for a couple hours, or even just one, and depending on how intensive my social interaction was for the day, I will be wiped out for the rest of the day. Like yesterday after work, I was so exhausted. I nearly just collapsed into the bed and just didn't get up forever. I'd worked an extra long shift, like not just for what I've been working um, for them. Because I haven't been gonna take that. Yes, okay. And we're gonna spray it. Spray some pink in there because it's pretty. I'd worked a little extra long shift to make up some hours that I missed out on earlier. Not because I wasn't able to be there. The manager was sick and she didn't have anyone else to close. And they can't really trust me to close yet. So even though I was there, I couldn't really help with that. Anyhow, I worked an extra long shift yesterday. It was pretty slow for the most part, which is how I was able to get through it so well. But by the end of the day, I was plumb worn out. Can you tell I grew up in the South? I don't have, at least I can't detect that much of an accent in my speech. But my friends have said they can hear it. And of course, I use like phrases like "bless your heart" sometimes. Like yesterday, I was talking about Freya. I said "bless his heart." Although that was done on purpose. Not a very good Southerner. Like, I'm like, where's the food whenever I go to a Southern restaurant? It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I wouldn't really go out of my way to go get some. Like, I don't want to go to a restaurant to eat something like, oh, I hate chicken fried steak or cornbread. Like, I literally don't like anybody's cornbread except my grandma's. I'll only eat my grandma's cornbread. Oh God, we're gonna have so many color layers. Whatever. We should probably put them in a folder and then label that folder so that we know that that folder is full of colors for Vex. Not to erase that folder full of colors for Vex. Ah, no, please don't do that. I could just put this in Vex's folder, but I am going to be using some layer modes later on when I shade this puppy. And I don't want to mess that up. I don't know what it, like, literally I'll get to a moment of silence and I'll be like, what have I been talking about for the past hour? I literally don't know. I recall Dragonlance came up at one point because I was like, oh wow, Dragonlance is a thing and I know it exists. She's got her everything but her clothes. Look at it. It's starting to come to life. Let's do the bird. We gotta add some more feathers to him. Or them. You know, I need to see my birds again. How'd I do them wings? This is a different one. This is the robins. I don't think doing exactly this is the way to go, but oh lordy, I forgot what I was doing. Okay, so maybe I do like I have no idea what I'm doing. Maybe something like this, a little. You know, I'm gonna leave it be. This. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just. It's not dark enough. It's this color, I believe. Yes. Okay. I think that works. That's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. Yeah, and that helps fix some of the problems we had earlier. Okay. It's amazing what a little effort will do. Just a little bit of effort, and suddenly I don't hate this anymore. It's a miracle. It's nice when I don't talk. I should do it more often. I'm not this down on myself normally. I'm trying to be a lot more, what you call it? Forgiving, understanding of myself. Because I've been very hard on myself all my life, basically. And I knew it was getting to be a problem when I just was basically just frozen with anxiety at the beginning of this year. And I was like, something's not working. So I've been doing the good mental health stuff, getting the therapies, talking things out with people, setting some boundaries for myself, both like for the people in my life and for, you know, myself, what I'm going to allow myself to do. It's been going okay. I've been doing better, honestly, since then. It's funny. It's like as soon as it's of course, as soon as we actually like start taking this stuff seriously, I'm doing fine. Like things in my life are going well. I have a job. I have a D&D campaign I'm in. Kind of feels like, oh goody. Like now it looks like I'm not mentally ill, but I know where I was and I know I can be there again, and so I'm taking moves so that I don't end up there again. And I wasn't afraid I was going to hurt myself. I was just afraid that I was going to trap myself in like a mentality that I couldn't escape from, kind of a doom vortex. That's no good. Put this color down. These are just placeholder colors for now. We're just putting in some colors where colors need to be. I should probably zoom in more. There we go. Man, this ramble is taking some darkish turns. It's like, oh, I'm gonna casually allude to my childhood trauma. Oh, I'm gonna casually allude to my less than stellar mental health. Oh, I'm just gonna casually da 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 da. Whereas the other ones are like, oh, fun anecdote. I ran out of fun anecdotes. I'm sure I have more. I just cannot think of them. I am tired. Okay. Beak and eye. I've been really wanting to do, this is kind of off topic, but I've been wanting to do comics. Little goofy comics about Vex and the gang lately. Like not like big ones. Just little short like one-off gags, maybe about a moment in the campaigns or a joke. Stuff like that. But comics, let me tell you, comics take so much time. Like, I've made a comic before, and I don't do it often because it takes so much effort. Especially if you want it to look good, it takes so much effort, and the amount of time it takes to consume it is just like, it's gone. Admittedly, like, you could say the same thing about a drawing, but like whenever you take your time on a drawing like this, you can usually like put details in. You'll usually sit on it for a little bit because the subject material will be you know, they'll have spent a lot of time on it, so they'll probably put some details in there that you can kind of just, you know, ruminate on for a little bit. Admittedly, it doesn't take very long to consume this either. I'm gonna take a look at a magpie. for reference again. Yes, magpie landing. Thank you. Okay, so that's what I was doing. Okay. 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 Okay, so it's much less like that and more like... Is it like that too? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Why don't you pull it up here so you don't have to keep clicking away? Well, because I am not smart. I've told you this. Were you not listening when I said that I wasn't smart? No, I'm just... I had a reference image. The reference image that I based this pose off of, I changed it a little bit. Obviously just to not be just tracing over an image of a magpie, and also just because it felt a little better to me. Like the image I had, the wings, the tail was thin, which is probably how they do it in the real world, but I felt like I wanted a flared tail, just gave it a little more life. Because sometimes you gotta exaggerate real life, not be entirely accurate. And that is ironically more lifelike, you know. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to be his pants. I don't know why he's a he. Sometimes it's just funnier to say he. Like I'm putting on his pants right now. Would it be funny to say their pants? No, because men are a joke. I'm just kidding. I don't want to. That's mean. That's mean. Though I will say, I don't know. Like I said earlier, Vex doesn't really care about gender, but she does know very firmly that it is not man. Like she just uses she her because like it's like, well, that's what everyone calls me whenever I was like that's what everyone calls me and I'm fine with it. But I don't know, I just can't see her being very impressed with men as not as like people, like, because obviously she's traveling with two dudes in the party and she likes them, and she's like not anti-man, but just more like man as the institution, man as the patriarchal force. That's the kind of man she's not into. She is not into patriarchy or any of that nonsense, and if that's like a thing in Girif, she is vehemently opposed, because she's in the Olwithy, and I guarantee you there's some boneheaded boys in there, and she is like, really? They think this is better. For what reason? And nobody can give her a good one because she's like, I don't, it literally absolute nonsense, absolute mammal nonsense coming out of your mammal mouth. She often says, She often says, I didn't put that on our bingo sheet, but I should have. But I should have put derides mammals. Like she does. There's just some things she doesn't get. She didn't grow up among mammals. She just didn't. So whenever some idiosyncrasies come up, my goodness, I can't say words today. Whenever weird little things come up like that, she's utterly baffled. Probably talk about the NPCs a little bit. We haven't met too many. At least not too many ones that I think are going to be of any immediate import. The Grig I mentioned last episode. I don't know if we call these episodes. The Grig I mentioned that we saved. His name is Tweedle. He was actually the one that Gaunt ate whenever he did that. The reason he ate Tweedle was because Tweedle was giving us a hint as to how to pass this puzzle test that he was forcing us to take. And he didn't appreciate that, or maybe he was just playing it up. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it was just him playing it up, because later on it turns out Tweedle's fine. He was just eaten, and now he's not eaten anymore. He's been spat up. He had to dig himself out of the dirty snow that used to be Gaunt's body. Oh no, that's the wrong layer. Oh no, I need to... There we go. Till it disappears. And it's gone. Hooray! Oh no, that's the wrong one again. Okay, now. Haha. 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 I don't know why I brought up Tweedle first. He's like probably the least important character. Or they. I don't remember their pronouns. Listen, he's a Grig, he sings songs, and he healed Yurik a whole bunch. That was pretty cool. Okay, well now I've got the colors down, now I've got to make the actual colors. Yes. Oh, that's not good. What did I do? Oh, it disappeared because it's the same color. Oh, stupid. Listen, I am having a time. Having a time. It is neither a good time nor a bad time. It's just a time. Just having a time. There we go. And it needs to be darker. Much darker. That's not helping. This is gonna be a pain, isn't it? think that works. Maybe a bit darker. Okay. Yeah, I think that's okay for now. I'll probably tweak that more later. But yeah. Literally, I was like, I don't know why I mentioned Tweedle, and then I never mentioned anybody else. I have notes. Where are my notes? I mean, I know where my notes are, but where are my notes? This is going long. I think this is going on like an hour and a half, maybe? I can't tell. Doesn't say. Oh, it does say. It says up here. Yeah, an hour and a half. I was right. I'm smart. I'm just loopy, that's all. This episode is going to be full of nonsense. Just utter, incomprehensible nonsense. Anyway, notes. Okay, so there's the king. The Brennan. His name is Owen Lucen. He seems to be a very nice guy. I have no colors for this rapier. Sorry. I have no colors for any of these things. I'm gonna have to come up with them on my own. Okay. Owen Lucen is the king. The Brennan. In Girif, the Brennan is deeply tied to the land itself. He basically, the lifeblood of the land flows through him. There's like druids and such are highly respected. There's a lot of old faith going around. And so the gods that they worship tend to be like maybe a bit primal. They're what am I thinking? The word. They're more like forces of nature. So we've got a god of death and the gods. I think they typify seasons. Here's the thing: I didn't really study the gods too closely. Once I decided my character was going to be agnostic, I was like, well, she's not really going to care. We do have the setting info right here. Yes, we have a god of death who's not really worshipped, Nehru. Obadhai, the Or brother of Fall. He's kind of an outlier, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he's like a destruction. Huh. So I just noticed a what you call it? A parallel with another franchise. With Fall being destruction. In a Tattered World, which I mentioned briefly earlier, there's a land called a remnant where they worship the 4 gods of seasons, and the one that basically ruined everything was the goddess of fall. So I'm wondering if that kind of carried over. Pelor, the sun father of summer. Biori, the moon mother of summer. Elana, the Sadar sister of spring. Nobody wanted to take winter, I see. I don't blame them. Winter is kind of dumb. Unless that's an accident. Doesn't look like it. Who knows? it's not really that important to me. Like I said, I am, Vex really doesn't put any, she respects the gods as beings of power that mortals cannot possess, and that's it. It's just like, so you're a god. Whoop-de-doo. You've got special powers because that's what you are. You want me to pat you on the back for that? You want me to praise you with mighty praisings? No. she she doesn't really. She's the Edward Elric of the group. She hasn't met God and still been an atheist. She's not quite that way. But I mean, if she did, I don't think she'd be much impressed beyond the very powerful entity aspect. And she's kind of shown that. She did, like, aside from getting dazzled by the queen, she's not really that impressed with the fairies. Like, they're just unknowable entities of great power to her, and she doesn't really. They took her boy, so she doesn't really like them. She did like the Spring Queen a lot more than she thought she would, though. She's definitely pleasantly surprised that the queen was actually nice. I'm not so sure if she liked her. I think she did like her a little bit because of how kind she was and how swift she was about getting it sorted out once it came out. And anybody who can see just how much she loves Diven is an okay person in her book. But in general, she really didn't care for the Fae. She was, she met, like, I actually have, like, a list of the Fae that we met of significance and how she feels about each and every one of them. Most of them are distrust, distrust, distrust. There was a quickling we met that was very childlike that she kind of liked. If she hadn't been on a mission, she probably would have liked her a lot more. The tree, she probably enjoyed pulling the wool over her eyes, but she didn't really like the tree as a person. She was compassionate towards a water nymph that they met who was very lonely and who had a bit of an attachment to the druid Yurik. And then the one person she liked the most, though, which is not just my bias, she just liked this person a lot, okay? It was Onwheel, who is a Sheed, which is a mortal who stayed in the Fae realm too long and now became a Fae because of all that influence. She just missed Giraf so much and was just so sad, and Vex just really liked her, even though she didn't get to impress her very much. She tried to sing for her and it didn't go well, but she did tell her about the old Withy, of course. But literally everyone else, she didn't trust. The Chamberlain. Well, she cautiously trusted him because now he's involved with the Queen, who's proven herself a bit trustworthy. But she didn't trust the other nymphs she met. She didn't trust the hag that disguised herself as a bear. Absolutely hates her, even though she seems like a friendly person. Actually, like, I think she's just a trickster kind of person. Maybe at worst benign. Like the image she showed her was very cool, but she's not mortal. She doesn't have mortal sensibilities. So to her, this is just, oh, this is a prank. This is just something a little shocking that I'm going to show you. she didn't really have the concept of this is my beloved baby that is murdered before my eyes. Oh gosh, everything is terrible now. uh, but she hates the night hag is her name. Hates her. She hates it forever, precious. Um, and of course, Gaunt, she is not a fan of. She was desperate, and so she took his deal. But she never trusted him. She never liked him. Anyhow, those were the Fae. Owen, you heard you mention he took a wife. Her name is Khalees. She has a lot more to her name, but I am not in the mood to look it up right now. Princess Khalees is from Keelland, and her daddy loves her very much and had a very touching farewell with her before they left that Vex did not see, so Vex doesn't know about it, but I saw it, or in my mind's eye I saw it. And, she's very unsure about this whole thing. And she was very unsure about her welcoming party literally being made up of monsters. Like, so Yurik the Druid is a half-orc tiefling. Like he's got the appearance of both, and I think a few traits from both. Like I think he was allowed to take a trait from both. I don't know exactly how they mixed them together. I have to look at his character sheet again. But he looks like an Oni man. Like you've seen, I've shown you a picture of him. And then there's Vex. Literally has an entry in the monster manual. Everyone hates kobolds. Nobody likes kobolds. And so she's literally, her welcoming party is literally terrifying monster and horrible little creature. And that was, that didn't go over very well at first, but they smoothed it over. Yurik had some druid craft. He has magic. I didn't at the time. So he was able to magic up some pretty flowers for her to calm her down and say, we're friendly. And Vex, not having any magic at the time, was, she was kind of used to people who had never seen a kobold before or only knew them as horrible little pests to kill on sight. That she knew, well, I should probably show that I am friendly, so she opened her palms, put her hands behind her back, and bowed very deeply with her palms up, so not armed, not gonna hurt you, that kind of thing. And that worked. But that was actually what made, I mentioned that Frey bowed to Vex. He was just so tickled that this little creature was bowing to him, he thought, to all of them. She didn't even see him at the time. She was bowing to the princess, that he bowed to Vex, and only Vex. Like he specifically said, he's bowing to Vex, not the king who's right there, and not Yurik who's right there. No, he's bowing to the kobold who is bowing. It was a cute moment. I don't know how long this is going to go. I might have to split this up just for the sake of recording. Oh no, I'm gonna have to erase that. Did I get it? I don't think I got it. Oh, that's the sketch. Okay. Who else? Quill, whose name should not be pronounced like that, but I cannot for the life of me figure out how to pronounce it's supposed to be pronounced. He's it's spelled and I think it's supposed to be like push or pulse. It's like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's look. The British have done everything they can to kill Gaelic and Celtic languages, so I don't think I should be held at fault for my terrible pronunciations of Gaelic languages. But what the heck? Why do my friends tell me? Why do you? Got a message on Discord. I'm not gonna bring it up because, you know. There we go. Perfect gift to respond to with that, because I'm not responding to it with words. Anyway, Quill, that's the way we're pronouncing his name, probably for the good of everyone. Quill is a bard, and he, I've only met him once. He greeted Vex when she came to town, brought her from the inn to go and meet with the king, and he helped her meet Yorick. He knew where to find him. He seems like a nice guy. I really like him. Thus far, I think he and Owen are tied for my favorite NPCs. I mean, Gaunt does not count. He is evil and bad, so I like him in a different way. I think I'm just going to finish up Vex, and that'll be it for this. And then I will come do the tree. Oh, Vex is a lot, so I'm gonna finish up Vex's top half, and then I'm gonna give myself a break. Or maybe I'll just finish Vex without you seeing, because I honestly don't have much to say anymore. I'm just rambling to ramble and wiggling the camera and making you guys sick. Who has an hour and a half to hit to listen to me talk about stupid things? I mean, I do, but... Oh, and I'll finally be able to close this, so I'm not like, what is that? Oh, that's this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this bandolier, and then, I'll end it here. The recording, anyway. And, I'll probably do this on recording, because this seems like it'll be nice and interesting and give me a lot to talk about, maybe get my brain working again. And I don't really want to do this on recording because I have to figure out a color scheme for her stuff, because I've never drawn the rapier before, and I've never drawn the short bow before, and I've never drawn it in a quiver and everything before. So yeah, let's get this done. Anyway, Push seems to be very, he's a bard, like I said. Seems to be very, he seems to love a good story. He, when Vex came back from fighting goblins, she kind of played up her role, and, even though, I think she made obvious that he could tell that she's like playing it up, he was clearly enjoying himself. And why shouldn't he? He knows the value of a good story. I'm excited to see him again. We didn't really get enough of him. We literally only got to see those NPCs in the session 1, and then we never saw them again. Alice's seems like a bit of fun. We just saw her again, finally, but we really didn't get much of her at all. And what we did get of her was frantic and terrified. So we really didn't get to enjoy. Literally, the thing I was scared of doing, I just did. Well, I'm gonna have to cut that out. Well, sorry about that. I accidentally did the very thing I was scared of doing and decided I'm just gonna record a little clip of finishing this up, and then I'm gonna edit these two things together and then move on with my life for a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna work on this and then come back later with more in the oh right, that thing. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm like, I've got to finish this. I don't know. Maybe I just feel like I owe it to the nobody watching. Well, I'm sure somebody watching. I'm sure my party is probably like, hey, that's neat. She's talking about us. Voila. She still needs her britches. And she still needs her necklace done in. But I think I'm going to end it there. Like I said, I don't want to make all this. I don't want to figure out the colors for this on recording, because that's going to take a while. And this has already gone on long enough. So I am signing off here. Yeah. I'll come back when I get started on this tree here. I don't want to work on the tree, but you know that. And what I'm thinking is I'll do this tree, and then I will start doing shadows. My favorite. I don't like shading, but you'll see.